So I'm going to go over my setup for how I sample with the Mirage. Maybe there's something I'm doing that you're not doing, might improve your sounds, or you're doing something that I'm not doing and that'll improve my sounds. So let's share some information. Well, first of all, I am doing something a little different. I'm using my own software synthesizer that replicates playing wavetables like a PPG. It's a mono synth, and it's got various waveforms and adjustments for rate and the scan index for where it jumps in and out of the tables and how quickly and it puts the sounds together. So you can get some sounds like this. So I want to get that in the Mirage. Now, one thing in my signal path that I'm actually going to turn off right now is this. I was running through a space echo, so let's listen to it clean now. That's fine. Okay, to get sound out of my computer, I'm not using the analog audio output. My sound card or my motherboard has a Sony Philips digital interface out. So I'm running that into the Prozor DAC. This is just an inexpensive DAC I got off eBay. It's like $12 or something. Gets powered from a phone charger. So I'm just doing mono, so I just have a single out from this into the mixer. This gives me additional control, right? So I can control all kinds of equalization settings. I can control the wet dry with the effects, but at the moment I simply turn them off because I want a clean signal. And then the output of the mixer I use to go straight into the Mirage. Right now I've adjusted the Mirage timing for how long to sample to be, I'm guessing, about 3 seconds. It does change the maximum frequency of the notes you can get. So when you do this, you have to adjust the filter on the Mirage, otherwise you're going to get a lot of aliasing. Now you might want aliasing. I mean, the Mirage makes some pretty cool lo-fi noise. Part of that's due to the aliasing. Now, when you sample with the Mirage, there's something you got to really pay attention to, and that is, well, the note, the tune. So, upper sampling, you got to play an A, otherwise you're not going to get an A. And when you're doing lower sampling, you got to play an E, or you're not going to get an E. And even then, you've got to do a little bit of fine-tune adjustment, I've found typically. So my software synth actually has a fine-tuning capability built into it, and I know that's about right to calibrate for the Mirage because it's one other piece of my setup, and that is a chromatic tuner. So I put a chromatic tuner also off the output of the mixer so I can verify what the Mirage is playing. I've already done that, so now we're ready to sample. So we're going to sample upper. Okay, it's ready. It's just waiting for some sound now. There's no sound there. Let's see what we get. Okay, the signal was jumping around. It wasn't going too high. If the top segment of the display is lit up, that means your signal is too hot and you may get distortion in the Mirage, but this is good. Now the Mirage is just going to wait, so I'm going to enter sampling mode. Now it's just waiting for some sound. So here we go. Oh, something went tick. I was too slow. Let's do this again. It won't wait forever. Okay, here we go. Okay, there's sample finished. Now we're going to switch to lower. Okay, now, what do we have? So this is going to be pretty rough, and it's generally, you're going to have to adjust the octave that each sample is playing back at. Okay, so you can hear the extra noise already. Now this is clearly at too high an octave, right? So we change that. Parameter 67, lower value. I think maybe 2 octaves down. Let's find out. Okay, so there we go. That is set now properly. Now, one thing the sample's not doing, it's not looping. I can control the start and end points for looping the sample in the Mirage, so you can get it as clean as possible. Or you can just not loop it at all. I mean, you don't have to loop it. It just depends a bit on your the style of playing that you're going to use with the sample that you've created. So, at this point, I am going to work on this sample a little bit, adjusting the filter, the resonance, and I think I do want it to loop, so I'm going to try to find some good loop points and see what we get. So now the samples have been fixed a little bit. Amplitude and filter envelopes added, proper tuning, and the upper is set to monophonic and the lower is for pads. The LFO control is set to just control the upper. So let's see what we got here.